sure you remember this. This was about a week before that recall election, but not the recall election, the actual election in California. He was up in the polls, and pretty similar profile pattern behavior. LA Times had found a bunch of women who had said he had groped, sexually assaulted, inappropriately touched them. Also in a sort of similar situation. He's a star, he can do what he wants. And he very famously basically didn't deny it, right? I mean, rather than sort of double down, he basically said, yeah, I've done a lot of stuff on movie sets, and when there's smoke, there's fire, and he apologized. And that essentially worked for him. Donald Trump got up in front of 66 million people and said, absolutely not.
Well, it's funny because this is a guy who has said this over and over again. He's made the case over and over again. He's said he's done these things. They're on tape. You can't just go back and pretend because you're in the Trump reality distortion field that things he said didn't happen. He told Howard Stern these things. He said these things on the Billy Bush tape. He said these things over and over again about the sort of behavior he exhibits with women. And these things, you can't just redact them now and say, that's not what he really meant. That's just a character he's playing on TV. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. There's evidence that's eyewitness evidence and direct evidence on the record from these folks. And look, this is a guy who would get shredded if this went to discovery. I'll be surprised if he comes through with any of his bluff about suing the Times or suing these women in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because get him in court, and this guy will either perjure himself or collapse like a house of cards.
So we have seen a situation in which the political fallout of that tape was swift and severe. Bottom out, dropping out. A little bit post-debate performance, coming back from the total depths. He can't win the election with the margins he has with women right now. I mean, you could attack the demographics in any different way you want.
Right.
That to me strikes me as the biggest one.
Yes, I mean, mathematically, with women voters, he is in a deficit that is just not possible for. There's no path to victory for him.
Unless he would radically shrink it in the next 4 weeks.
And it's not possible because things are still going to come out. Because what's happening is, part of why he's saying, well, why are these women coming out now? No one ever wants to be the first person to come out because people don't want to be maligned. People don't want the reprisal that comes with going after Trump, which Rick and I have experienced directly firsthand, and many others. The reprisal is swift, it's vicious, it's brutal, and so people don't want that. But I think what's happening is, as more people come out, it gives more women comfort to come out because there are costs to coming out. People act as if you speak out against Trump, that somehow it's giving you all this great publicity. And it is not. It is not. If you're a working person, coming out against Trump is a thing that you do that causes harm to you.
Right. Plus, you also have to relive the situation, and the sort of waving the red flag in front of the bull. I'm reminded again, a very different set of allegations against Gary Hart, famously presidential candidate, who was not accused of anything non-consensual, was accused of marital infidelity in the context of a consensual relationship, but he famously basically dared the press, sort of dared the press to follow him around, quote unquote, and Donald Trump standing on that debate stage saying no. I mean, you just could see assignment editors across the country saying, okay.
Right, and now we have a million Tom Fiedlers, who was the guy that followed and caught Gary Hart back in the 80s, all looking at this and saying, wait a minute, this is the guy who said all these things on tape for years and years. This has been his known MO, and now he wants to deny them when he's on the debate stage. And so they're going to go after him. They're going to dig this stuff up. These people are going to come forward. And frankly, a lot of them are going to come forward who've been silent for years. They've been threatened, or they've been intimidated, or they've had Michael Cohen force an NDA down their throats on behalf of Donald Trump, and in whatever circumstances they found themselves after interacting with Trump. And these are people that have reached a breaking point, partly because Donald Trump has broken our political system so badly.
Yeah.
And he's got the entire Republican caucus flipping back and forth between endorsing and unendorsing him.
Senator Fisher of Nebraska and John Thune have both pulled the very rare endorse, unendorse, re-endorse carousel ride.
Oh, they went back on all
revelations. Maybe